Inspired by the travelling storytellers of feudal Japan, my exhibit combines ancient Oriental forms of storytelling to create an interactive shadow puppet show, telling my version of a well-known Japanese ghost story. The visitor takes control of the fate of a retired samurai, Tamiya Lemon, living in poverty with his ill wife. He has devised a rather grim plan to marry into wealth, but first must be rid of his poorly wife. Decisions are taken and battles are fought through the drumming of hyoshigi, a traditional Japanese percussive instrument. To begin the interaction, the visitor drums on the plinth in front of them, as if they were announcing the beginning of a performance. After a few moments of vigorous drumming, text begins to appear on the scroll suspended before them, firstly in Japanese, and then with an English translation describing the opening scene of the story they are about to experience. At this point, they stop drumming as the narrative begins to unfold. The shadow puppets act out the scenes described in the narrative. I chose to use Indonesian puppets due to their unusual, almost alien-like appearance, which lends itself well to the ghostly atmosphere of the story. At one point in the interaction, the user is asked to make a decision. They are prompted to drum by the blue symbol in the corner of the screen, which corresponds to the text highlighted in blue. In this exhibit, drumming the hyoshigi depicts action or aggression, so by choosing to drum, they take the more aggressive path, whereas not drumming will lead them down a more passive route. Both paths conclude with a final battle, where the protagonist is confronted by his neighbour, who has come to avenge the murders he has committed. Again, the blue drumming symbol prompts the visitor to drum. Accurate and relentless drumming leads to the protagonist defeating his adversary. However, if they fail to drum enough, he himself is killed. Both scenarios bring the story to a conclusion. All this interaction is achieved through the technology in the plinth that is drummed upon. It contains a projector and an EMAC. The drumming of the hyoshigi is detected through the use of a knock sensor, which can detect the strength and speed of the user's drumming, and converts it into an electric signal. This signal is detected by a patch created in a visual programming environment called Pure Data. The patch knows which point it is at in the narrative and displays certain videos depending on the user's input. These videos are projected onto an oriental wall scroll, traditionally used for calligraphy, but adapted to become the canvas for the interactive puppet show. The technology behind this exhibit can be adapted to any narrative, and the nature of the knock sensor allows it to be attached to any surface that can be drummed upon. I feel that this has a lot of potential for interesting interactions. Replace the drumming with Wiimote-like gestures mimicking actions played on the screen, and the user becomes immersed in the narrative, with their movements directly affecting the fate of the character they are playing. There is also potential for multiple users to play different characters in the narrative, with their interactions affecting the goings-on in the story. This technique is definitely something that I can develop in future projects, and with the help of Orange, could become quite a special piece of interaction with narrative.